Good afternoon, kids. Good afternoon, everybody. Bess is back with Paint and Picnic for you for the next about 35 minutes, I reckon. We are celebrating and supporting the beautiful country of Peru, and we are going to be painting Liam the llama, who will be fantastic. So, what do we need? Well, I've got some chalk pastels, a couple of browns, black, white. You can do this in coloured pencils, you could do this in crayons, you could do it in paint. You do not need chalk pastels. If you have got chalk pastels, okay. If not, use what you've got. I've got oil pastels, and these could be crayons, and lots of just different colours. So I've got green, red, purple, blue, pink, orange, white and black. And you can see that mine are smiggle oil pastels. So nothing very, arty. They're just smiggle pastels that Daisy had at home. Got a set of watercolours, a paintbrush, a glue stick, scissors, and you'll need 2 pieces of paper, okay? So, first off is to do our background, to make the beautiful background. Now, children, if you have never Googled Peru, and if you have never had a look at South America, and if you have never looked at Lima, which is the capital city of Peru, then please do. It is beautiful. It is beautiful, stunning. South America is stunning. Phenomenal countryside, gorgeous, vibrant, happy colours. In fact, it's a place that I reckon I would fit in really well. I've worn my really big, bright earrings today. They're not South American. I didn't have any South American earrings, but these are the ones that Thomas made for me, and they've got green and purple, and I thought they were fantastic. So, let's get started. The first thing we're going to do, I did one step. The first thing we're going to do is use our crayons or wax pastels. If you don't have these, you could just do a background using coloured pencils or something. And if you don't have that and you don't have 2 sheets of paper, then just do it on 1 sheet of paper. But if you're doing it, you're going to need to leave space for our llama, because we're going to do our background first. Then we're going to do our llama on this paper, cut him out and stick him on. So the first thing I'm going to do is choose a colour, and I'm going to start to do some patterns. So this first pattern, and I'm going to do it in stripes at the top. This is the sort of patterns that you would have on fabrics or on rugs, or just all the sort of bright South American colours that you would see. So you can see I'm going to use each crayon, I'm going to do different patterns, going down as if they're in stripes. So this one I'm doing 2 colours, this one I'm going to do circles in pink. And with this one, I am going to do a small circle, but coloured in purple. You can do whatever patterns you want. You don't have to copy me, but if you're stuck for an idea, of course you can. This one here, I'm going to do a wobbly line. What other colour haven't I used? I haven't used black. So we will do a zigzag, straight up, zigzag, straight down, and across, zigzag, straight up, almost like, I don't know what sort of pattern that is, but it's any sort of pattern. I might do some green. I'm going to do a line in where the squares are. I'm going to do a line. Okay, now let's do a red. Let's do another wobbly line, but a much sort of looser snake. I think we'll do 3 of these, almost like a wave. Beautiful. And then we might go back to repeating the pattern that's at the top. Okay, so I've pressed really hard on that to get really good colour to come out. Now we're going to use our watercolours, and the key thing is to use a different colour in the watercolour than you have with the crayon. So if I've got purple up there, I think I'm going to use yellow, and I'm going to paint the yellow because purple and yellow are opposite on the colour wheel, which means they'll really stand out. Who knows what's opposite to green? Well, opposite to green is red. So we've got that stripe in there, so let's find the red. And we're going to put red in next. And what you can see, this is called colour resist, because the wax oil pastel has all that waxy texture in it, and if you were using a crayon, it's exactly the same. And so when you paint watercolour over the top, you might have done this at school, the paint resists where the colour is, which means your beautiful bright lines shine through. Okay, let's use a dark orange where that green is. So it's a different colour to the red we've just put up there. Okay, now we've got pink, and I think I'm going to use green for this one. Make sure I go round and round really well with my brush to get my brush loaded with colour. And let's put the green on. It's really quick, really bright, really happy, but what fantastic results. Already I'm loving it. It's so bright and cheery. Okay, then for orange, the opposite colour to orange on the colour wheel is blue. So we're going to paint blue on the orange, and that's going to make that pop forward. So I'm choosing all these beautiful bright colours. Now the opposite to black is of course white. I don't really want to use white, so I'm going to use this hot pink here. Well, it's not really a hot pink, it's more of a burgundy pink. But let's put that burgundy pink behind the black. Now, the opposite to red, well, we've already experienced that, haven't we? Because up here we've got green with a background of red. So if we've got red, what colour do you think the background's going to be? Absolutely, it's going to be green. So I'm going to go with a dark green. So it's a different green than the green we used before. Oh, look at that. That looks like Christmas. So I was going for a walk with my husband this week, and I was wearing a green t-shirt, and I've got these really lovely green and pink earrings. So I was wearing those, and I wore my pink fleece because it was early in the morning, it was a bit chilly. And I wore my pink fleece, and I thought I just looked bright and happy. And the first thing he said, when I said, do you want to go for a walk down to the town and get some milk? He said, you look like a Christmas tree. And I went, no, I don't look like a Christmas tree. He said, you do. I said, Dave, that's not kind. He said, you look like a Christmas tree. Anyway, I thought he was just being unkind. Then the first person I met that I knew said, oh, Karen, don't you look Christmassy? And I thought, oh, I actually did look like a Christmas tree. At the end of the day, red and green are pretty Christmassy colours, aren't they? Okay, so we used purple and yellow up there. I don't want to use the same yellow, so I'm going to use this colour here. We haven't used it. It's kind of like a duck egg blue, a tealy colour. So let's use that one down here. Fill in that last stripe, and that is my background completed. Now you might have been using texture pens, and if you've been using felt tip pens, textures, crayons, pencils, and you haven't got the same technique as me, that's okay. But what we're doing is a patterned, bright background in patterns and then different colours. So if you create that, you're good to go. So I'm going to put that over here to one side. While that dries, we're going to do Liam the Llama. I'm not going to need my paints anymore. So I'm going to pack those away, move those out of the way, and let's get Liam the Llama. Here's my piece of paper for Liam. Okay. Now, if you want to use a pencil, you can. I'm not. I'm going to go straight to pastel. But if you want to draw it with a pencil, please do. Okay, I'm going to start off with black. Seems scary. Actually, I won't. I'll start off with brown. Then if I do make a mistake, we can worry about it later. Okay, so I'm going to do the neck first. And we're going to draw a big, long llama's neck. And a big, long llama's neck. Now we need to do his face. So this is the top of his neck. And if you look, the top of my neck is up here, isn't it? It's by my ears. Feel your own neck without choking yourself, but feel your own neck. The top of your neck is right up here. It's not here. This is where the neck meets our shoulders. So where the top of the neck is, our chin goes lower than the top of our neck. So I need to first of all put in the chin lower than the top of the neck. So there's his chin, the llama's chin, and you can see it goes up higher. Now, unlike us, a Liam the llama, his ears are not here on the side of his head. They're like a rabbit. They're on the top. Boop, boop. So we need to go all the way up the side of the head to get the ears. So I'm going to keep on going up, and I'm going to go up and do a funky curly ear. Come down a bit. Go across the top of his head. And then I need to do this ear here. Go up and bring it down to the side of his hair. So that's my Liam llama ears. Now, we are going to colour him in brown. I'm using the side of my pastel. And if I use the side of my pastel, some of the white shows through. And you get a really soft colour that comes out. Super quick, isn't it? Okay. Then I've got, so that was like a reddy brown, and this one is like a darker brown. So I'm going to use this darker brown, and I'm going to do an extra bit of brown. Now this brown, I'm just going to do at the top of the head, around the ears, around the side of the head, and then I'm going to do it down one side of the neck for shadow. Now it's time to get our fingers dirty, and let's smudge those colours in. This, I think, is always fun. It is a bit messy, but I don't mind that. I like a bit of mess. Now, when you've got that dust, you want to tap your dust. Hopefully, you've got a cloth down. You can just shake it and tap it off. Don't blow it, because it will go in each other's faces, or it will go all over the garden, the sofa, whatever. Okay, so we got our basic shape, and now we need to put some black in it. So we're going to start off and do his nose. And to do his nose, we're going to do a letter W. Don't worry about making our letter W quite perfect. Ooh, just broke it. We want it wide because a llama's mouth is kind of loopy, goosey and loopy. He's got goopy, loosey lips. So there's our llama's mouth. And then we do a letter U underneath. So we've got a letter W and a letter U. And then we're going to put our nose in, which is kind of like a flat letter C if it was up on the side. A flat letter C. Just put a little circle there and a little circle there, and there's his nostrils. Now, Liam the llama's eyes are on the side. So the easiest way to do this is to do a V. One V there. One V. Oh, I've got a little lump from the table there. One V there. And now put in your circle, your curve one side, your curve the other side, and we're going to put in, before you colour it in black, put in your highlight using the white chalk, and then I want you to colour round that highlight and colour the rest of the eye in black. If you're using coloured pencils, just create a little space where you leave the eye, so you've got a little highlight, just adds a bit of personality to the eye. If you've got a white pastel, you can put a little bit of white in the corner of the eye for the eyeball, a little bit on the side. And then, of course, llamas have beautiful eyelashes. So we're going to add some eyelashes to our llama. Just doing little flicks. And then a couple down below as well. Like that. He looks so cute! Okay, now I want to add some texture, some fur. And I'm going to do that with my black pastel. First of all, I'm going to go round his chin. And I'm going to do 2 stripes of black round his chin. And I'm going to use my finger. And in little circular motions, I'm just going to create a little bit of shadow under his chin. So just little circular motions, a little bit of shadow under his chin. Cool. Now a little bit of shadow where one ear meets, where the other ear meets. And you can use a bit of white on the top and a bit of white on his nose. And again, with your finger, just rub it in carefully, rub it in gently. You'll end up with a little bit of a highlight on his nose and a little bit of shadow where those ears are. So that's all the work that we are going to do. You can, if you want to, smooth out that line. If you don't like it so hard, you can just put your finger on to smooth out your line. You can colour in his tongue if you want it to be a different colour, but you don't have to. These are all kind of extras. Have a play, experiment. And then we are going to use our black line to outline him. And this is where I want to add texture. So I'm using a kind of like scribbly line to make it look like he's furry. There we go, scribbly, scribbly line. And I go up round his ears. Up round the top of his ears there. I'm going to put a little line in the inside of his ears because they stick up. I'm going to use my finger to smooth that line. Just have a bit of softness around those ears. And then we're going to make him have some fur. We're going to add some scribbly lines over his neck. You can do this, which is some dotty lines, a little bit on his head. Do the same with the brown. Couple of squiggly lines with brown. And then I'm just going to use my finger to smooth out those colours so it looks more like a blendy shade rather than a drawn line. If you're using pencils or felt tips, just draw it however you want to, okay? So that's Liam the llama. Give him a bit of a shake, and now I'm going to cut him out. Now I want to try and cut him so his fur on the edge is kind of jig-jaggy. So where I've done that jig-jaggy edge, I'm going to try and cut him out. Nearly done one side. It's a bit of a wiggle. You have to turn your scissors in and you have to turn your scissors out. But it will look much nicer when we put him on our background. Okay, up around the side of his head. I'm going to try carefully to go in where his eye is and then make his eyeball stick out a little bit. So rather than going straight up, I've just gone round the curve of his eyeball. And round his ear at the top. Okay, now it's going to be a bit tricky to go in here. So I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to go in there, round to the top of the head, and then I'm going to go round the ear here. Holding him carefully because you don't want him to smudge. It's a bit fingers and thumbs. But just go careful. Ask a parent or a sibling if you get stuck. Can you help me cut out? I spend a lot of my time at art class doing cutting for students, don't I, kids? And I'm okay with that. That's fine. It's one of those skills that you learn. It's okay. We can't all be good at things straight away, and it's a bit fiddly. And sometimes we don't want to ruin our art, so we ask for help, and that's always a good thing, isn't it? Always asking for help if you get stuck is a good thing. Okay, that's the head done. And now we're going to do our final side. So I'm going to go down, around the ear, around his eyelashes. Now I'm going to try and go in and around his eye. Going careful. There we go, round the eye, down round the side of his face. And now I've got to do this side, which means forward. Ooh, I might just chop all that bit off. Let's just chop that bit off. So I can go forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. Cutting into it from two different angles, look, means that I don't even have to go round the corner. So I'm just cutting it out, and the little bits are dropping on the table. Here's our Liam the Llama, nearly done. Like I say, you don't have to use pastels if you haven't got chalks. You can use pavement chalks if you've only got the big chunky ones. And if you haven't got a brown, then make your llama purple or pink or green or blue or yellow. Doesn't have to be exactly. I'm here just to inspire you, to give you ideas. But if you want to do your own thing, yeah, oh yeah, go for it. That's exactly what we want, kids. Independent creativity. All right, let's move all that out the way. And we're ready to put it together. Are you ready? Give me a thumbs up. Give me some love. Tell me that you're ready. Okay. Decide which way up you want it. Do you want the yellow at the top, or do you want the yellow at the bottom? I'm going to put my yellow at the top. Still a little bit wet, but it's going to be fine. I'm going to turn my llama over, and I'm going to use my glue stick, and I'm going to glue all the way around to the top. All the way around to the top. And down through the middle. Lids back on glue sticks, kids. Otherwise they dry up and you can't use them again. Okay, picking up gorgeous Liam. Are you ready, Liam? This is where you come alive. And just use your fingers really carefully to tap him down so you don't smudge your drawing. And there is Liam the Llama. He looks gorgeous. I love him. He looks fantastic. I would definitely put him in a frame and put him on my wall, because every time you look at him, it's like, happy day. So he's fantastic. Well done, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed doing Liam the Llama on your paint and picnic. Have a wonderful weekend. Make sure you spoil your mummies tomorrow, because it's Mother's Day here in Australia, and they are very important people. Note to Thomas, Daisy and Harry at home. Give them some love. They don't necessarily need presents. If you've got some, they'll love them. If you haven't, give them your picture. They will love it. Every mum loves to see something homemade and creative. If you haven't done anything yet, yesterday I did 3 makes with my little black fingers. I did 3 makes for Mother's Day. So have a look at my videos at You Create Art at Home. There was a bouquet of flowers that you can make with paper. I did a drawing of a flower if you've only got a pencil that you can do from a flower out in your garden. And then the last thing I did was what did I do? What's the last thing I did yesterday? Oh, gosh, why can I not think about it? I did 3 things. What was the last thing I did yesterday? I did the flower. Oh, I know. I did that beautiful picture. Here it is. I can show you. It was the lovely picture of where your mum lives. So this is Brisbane. And it's lots of collage and lots of bright colours. This was done with felt tip pens, a bit of a book, and all sorts of things. So if you get stuck, have a look at that. 3 makes that we did yesterday for Mum. She would love this one also. So have a lovely weekend. I will see you next week for more You Create Art at Home for you Kiddie Winks. 7 o'clock tonight, it's Family Sip and Paint, and we are still in Peru, and we are doing Enrique Bustamante and his fantastic pigeons. I'll see you later. Bye. Lots of love. See you.